Welcome to Dragon Sanctuary, a podcast dedicated to helping you expand your light for ascension. Let's stay curious and build community. And now, here's your host, Vick.
Okay, everyone, welcome back. It feels so good to be back. I haven't recorded an episode for a long while. I haven't put out an episode for a long while, and it's for good reason. Definitely for good reason, but I wanted to come on here and give you all an update about what Vick has been up to, why the pause, why the break, what's going to be coming next, and what you can all look forward to see from me. So I'll get right into it. I want to make this sweet and short. And yeah, I want to say that first and foremost, it has been a interesting year. Busy, unpredictable, and quite intense, to be honest with you. So when I had put this podcast out, I had obviously, or maybe not obviously, pre-recorded a bunch of content and episodes, and I was really excited to give those all to you and release all those to you, but it didn't feel right. So I wanted to really honor that. I experienced a really it was just a big transition in my life. And at the time when I launched this podcast, I was going through some changes professionally and personally, but professionally as well. And it just didn't allow me to really, feel comfortable, feel ready to share everything that I was wanting to share. So I had to take a step back. I also experienced a injury, yet again, to my right knee, unfortunately in a freak accident. And once again, I was brought back to my knees, so quite literally. And I want to get into that definitely, so maybe I'll start there, but in April of 2024, I was on my way to my yoga studio to indulge in a very exciting reflexology course that I had been wanting to take with one of my favorite instructors at the studio. And Teddy hadn't been feeling well. He had quite literally the runs, so I quickly ran him over to the park by my house and bumped into my neighbor and his dog. And he has a golden doodle, maybe like 50 pounds or something like that. But anyways, he had forgotten his keys, or my neighbor had lost his keys in the grass, he thought. So me being me, not really paying attention that I was in a rush and had about 5 minutes, was like, yeah, man, I'll help you. So I took my eyes off Teddy and this dog, and the dog took my knee out, slammed into my right knee, and I heard 2 pops and fell to the ground. And there goes my meniscus again. So that was really gripping, I would say. Like I said, I was going through a transition professionally and feeling really good about myself, especially with my brain injury and how far I had come. And I actually couldn't believe that this was happening, to be honest with you. So anyways, my neighbor literally carried me and Teddy into my home. My boyfriend was on his way out to go watch some football. And of course, I'm like, honey, you got to take this chick to the hospital because something ain't right. I thought for sure I tore my ACL, for sure, or something. Like I've experienced quite a lot of injuries in my life. And I thought this was the one that, did a lot of damage. But after many, many x-rays and tests and exams, it was revealed that, in fact, I didn't tear anything, just wear and tear, actually. So luckily enough, I just had chipped some cartilage, and just, experienced wear and tear, but I didn't actually tear any ligaments. So I went for a couple MRIs, and yeah, I was put in a leg brace, and that was that. So that was a very tender time for me, to be frank with you all. I was very upset that this had happened to me. Also because I had to walk my best friend down the aisle in like less than, I think it was 5 or 6 weeks. And I was the maid of honor. And I had her bachelorette party in a couple weeks. And I quite literally could not believe that this was happening. I was feeling better than I felt in several years. And I was brought to my knees again. So I took a lot of time to process that. I took a lot of time to also wallow a little bit. I'll be honest with you, I did feel bad for myself. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I am very open about that and will always be open about that and my struggles. And I was just feeling down in the dumps, like really confused as to why this happened. And for me, as someone who is very connected to her spirituality, I kept asking myself the same question. Why did this happen? What is the message here? And I had other people ask me these questions a lot, or this question a lot. And it took me a long time to understand what this meant. And I'll be honest with you, I still am not 100% certain on what this meant or this message was for me. But my understanding and comprehension of it is simply that I need to stay on track and focus. And that is like pretty ambiguous. Obviously, I understand that. But for me, I get really excited about a lot of things. I get distracted. I don't know. I just am passionate. So for me, when I'm excited about something, in this instance, I'm excited to go to my reflexology class. It's a simple, no, I can't help you because I didn't see your keys. I gotta go. Or, no, I can't take Teddy out. If he poops in the house, he poops in the house. Like, I gotta go. And not rush. So do things with intention, be in the moment, be present, and just like stay focused, stay on track. And I was very lucky. Like, I really believed that I had seriously hurt myself. I was convinced. And I didn't. Like, of course I did. I was actually out of commission for several months. I was unable to walk and drive for a good chunk of the summer. And yeah, I have made nearly a full recovery. I wouldn't say I'm back where I once was, but I would say I'm like closer every day. Again, as someone as an athlete or who was an athlete, there's this obsession with like getting back in the best shape. And for me, I'm uninterested. And I'll explain what I mean by that, but I'm uninterested in putting myself through copious amounts of pain to obtain results. So that's just something that I don't do anymore, or I try not to do. I wouldn't say that I have eliminated it completely, but the whole concept of no pain, no gain is something that I'm really trying to untrain my mind with. And it's a very deep topic for me, and I would love to do a whole episode on just pain, and I will be, because I've experienced a lot of pain like you have as a human being as well. So for me, it was just, again, learning about how to cope with this injury in a way that I hadn't coped with it before, because clearly it's a message that I have to keep relearning. And that's something I genuinely believe and believed about this injury. I have had several knee injuries, several leg injuries. I was actually born with a club foot, as some of you may or may not have already known about me from listening or knowing me. So yeah, I wore a cast for the first 2 years of my life. I literally came out of my mother's womb injured. And that's a very deep one for me because I've remained injured for a good part of my life. But what I've learned and continue to learn is that is to actually detach yourself from your experiences. So if it's cathartic to talk about it, great, but also maybe not great. Because I think that a lot of the times, especially in the world we're living in right now, everyone is obsessed with their story. And I think that that's great. For me, in therapy and in my life and in my journey and in my healing journey, whatever you want to call it, I've learned that there's also consequence with really attaching yourself to your story and becoming obsessed with sharing it. Because when you do that, you're just talking about your past. So for me, I want to focus on the present. I don't even want to really look towards the future. I think that's another toxic culture that we have. So yeah, I dealt with the injury. I walked my best friend down the aisle. It was an epic celebration, 2-day celebration. My best friend, who I hope will be on this podcast sooner rather than later, is Polish, and I'm obsessed with Polish people. Like, I have been, obviously, because of her for my whole life, and I also have other people in my life, and I just love the Polish culture. I love the people. I just am obsessed with the food, everything. So anyways, it was a beautiful celebration. We had the most amazing time, and I was in a lot of pain the whole time, physically and emotionally, but emotionally in a more like beautiful way. Like, I felt so honored to be such a big part of that day, and watching my best friend marry her best friend was like epic, and my whole family was also there, and her family, like her parents are like second adoptive parents to me, especially her father. Her mother obviously equally, but growing up without a father figure, like her dad and her brother are like top men in my book. So it was just honestly the best. But inside I was really feeling a lot of pain, both with my knee and just with, I don't know, like I think I had a certain idea of how I was going to look at this wedding. Not that I really cared that much. Ultimately, I feel that I'm very confident with who I am and how I look, but I think I knew how I was feeling inside. And when I look back at pictures, sometimes I get a little sad because I know what I was battling. And one of my other really good friends was talking about this with me because I was sharing this with her, saying, it's hard for me to look back on pictures because I just know inside how I was feeling. And she was, in her way, wise way, saying, yeah, Vic, like, I know it's hard sometimes because when you look back at pictures of yourself, you know how you were feeling when other people may not have known. So again, something I'm working on. Like, I mean, that's for me, that's my journey, and that's for me to kind of process or hang on to if I want to, but I choose not to, or at least I try not to. So yeah, that was pretty intense times, but beautiful times. And then, yeah, like I had a wonderful, healing, pretty relaxing summer, but also very busy in a lot of ways. Big transition, like I said, professionally, and just with my brain injury. So that was a big adjustment period for me that didn't allow me to do a lot of hobbies that I enjoyed. So that including my podcast. So I had to just kind of accept that, especially because I can be quite controlling, and I mean that like about myself and situations and like how I show up in situations. So maybe that's like perfectionism or whatever you want to call it. I want to kind of refrain from labeling myself, but regardless, I was knowing that I wasn't in a good enough place to be putting out what I wanted to put out for people and for myself mostly. So I did record, and it was mostly just, it was very cathartic for me to record but not to put out. So that's what I decided to do. I talked at length with my therapist about a few different things too, and just this creative energy in me is really, 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 really sparked lately. And I have been working on another project that I will be sharing soon, or will be launching soon. And I have been wanting to also put a little bit more energy into that. And I did exactly that. Or I've been doing exactly that. So I had to then, again, take a step back just from this podcast. And I did. Also, in my personal life, I became an aunt for the first time. And for those of you who are aunts or not, mothers or not, people or not, that was like the best thing ever. And it has been the best thing ever. I'm obsessed with my niece. Like, obsessed. It's the best ever. I don't even know like how to even put it into words, but she is such a joy to our family. And watching my sister, my brother-in-law, kind of become parents for the first time has been so fun. And so, I don't know, my sister and I have been like very close. I consider her to be my best friend my whole life. So to watch my sister become a mother was quite powerful, I'll just say. She's been doing an amazing job. She's like devout beyond belief. My niece is the happiest kid. She really is. It's almost unfathomable, how beautiful and happy she is all the time. So I equate that to my sister and my brother-in-law. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I do. And yeah, I've been really devoted. Tia, which is aunt. So yeah, I've been really trying to just be there and show up how I can and when I can, and that's been an amazing addition to my life. Like I can't say enough good things and how much she means to me, both like symbolically and just, yeah, it's so nice. Life is the best. So new life is like extra special. I'm not gonna talk about that too much, but I will say that for anyone who has a baby around them, friends, family, relatives, it's just the best. Like, they give you so much joy and happiness all the time. So, well, maybe not all the time, but as a Tia, for me, it's all the time. So that's been amazing. And then also I've been transitioning in my personal life as well because I'm moving. So that's been a huge adjustment in itself and very time consuming in a lot of ways. So I thought I better hop on here sooner rather than later and record, because at the end of the day, I may not be, here for much longer. So yeah, that's been amazing and fun. And honestly, I just realized that I wasn't recording the video component. So the first half of this episode will not be on video, which is totally fine. I think that's hilarious. Because I said to myself, did I click it? And then I'm looking at it and I've been staring at it the whole time and I didn't hit record, and that's totally fine. I'm totally cool with it. But I'm glad that I noticed, because I do want to have some of this on clip. Back to my move. My boyfriend and I decided we're going to be transitioning to his house still in the area. So it's been a big adjustment for me, purging. Honestly, it's been a lot of things, actually. I will do a whole episode on that with him, hopefully. And yeah, when we move, we'll talk a lot more about that when we actually integrate into our new space. But regardless, it's been a lot. Like, for anyone who's had their house listed for rent or lease or whatever, or for sale, and you got to keep the house clean, you got to keep it tidy. And I work from home, so for me that's also amazing, but can be disruptive because I can have a request and then within 3 hours I have to have my house ready. And I guess I don't have to have my house ready, but I choose to. So for me, it's just an added layer of duty. And as a chick who likes to have limited duties, it's just naturally an added task to life. So yeah, it's been, to say the least, a transitionary period. It's been a very exciting life. There's been a lot of positive things happening. There's also been some not so positive things happening. But my main message for all of you that are still listening or may be still listening is that it's okay in life to change your standards. And that's something I think goes without saying, but I'm really passionate about this. As humans, we're designed to evolve. So the person that I was 10 years ago is not the same Vick that is here in front of you today. The person that I was even yesterday, hopefully, is different than the person I am today. And something that I decided that I wanted to maintain was my peace. And I think for me, I know the way to do that is by staying in control, staying focused, but most importantly, just understanding that I'm a person who one day wanted to put out podcasts for you guys as much as possible, which was maybe twice a month. And today that person has evolved and could be putting out episodes for you once a month or once every few months, because I am focusing on many aspects and hobbies and passions and interests. And ultimately life happens, and I don't do this full time by any means. This is strictly a hobby for me. So yeah, I just really wanted to say that if you're someone who is like, oh, I want to do this or do that, I really wish I could do this or do that, and you don't do it, or you pause and then you restart it and you restart it differently, or you change it, that's actually a part of growing. So I don't want to be on here and say, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, because I didn't. So there's no point in fretting and harping on things I didn't do in the past, rather things that I want to do in the now. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm really excited about it. I have to say, I'm really excited about it. I feel like a lot of people are like, you're not going to believe what I'm working on. I don't know. I'm not really on social media that much. I'm on enough. I have to be with this podcast, I guess, but I welcomed it into my life again recently. I was off for years, actually, like offline. And it was really, really nice to be offline, actually. I highly recommend, if it's something you're considering doing, to do it. And then when I came back online, I realized that there's a way to curate myself and my page to see and consume things that I want to see and consume. And that's what I did. So that's been really, really nice. I will talk more about social media in another video, of course, but yeah, it's really exciting to kind of be back here and to be sharing with you all and talking with you all and really just trying to reconnect. So on that note, I want to officially announce and say that I am ready to start hosting regularly. It wasn't something I was ready to do I had been doing it, obviously, as you know, with my Lucas episode out, my cousin. And then I have also some pre-recorded content from other friends and guests that I have. But I'm really working on some pretty exciting guest appearances that I'm really excited about. People in my life that have been trailblazers in my like healing journey, medically as well. So that's really cool. But what I want to say most importantly is if you are somebody who would love to come on and share your story, your passions, your hobbies, your skills, your offerings, whatever it is, wisdom, guidance, maybe you want to just host a meditation. I don't know. I'm open and I'm ready to have you. So let me know, reach out to me, whether it's on social media or personally, through email, whatever it is. Please don't hesitate to say, Vic, I want to come on the pod because I'm ready for you. I really am. So that's also an exciting tidbit, and I really do hope that I will have a part-time co-host as well. I won't name them yet, but I'm also working on that. So yeah, it's been quite an incredible year because we're almost approaching a year since I've launched the podcast, which is hard to believe, but it's a project that I am so passionate about and I think will allow me to really express and be who I have always felt I wanted to be. And I also wanted to say that you might be noticing that I got new specs. So I am super stoked about that. I'm no longer wearing sunglasses at night or during the day, which is huge for my brain injury. But these glasses were recommended to me by my occupational therapist back in the summer, I believe. But I just finally bit the bullet and bought them, mostly for my digital use. I don't wear them really at all when I'm inside, unless I know I'm going to be like out at like a gathering or event or somewhere where the fluorescent lighting or a lot of stimulation is going to be present. But these specs are amazing. This video is not sponsored. I've never been sponsored. But these glasses are from Zenni Optical. It's an online website or optometrist, I guess, where you can, I don't know if that's the right word, but you can order glasses from them, and these are their special lenses. These are their FL41 lenses, particularly or specifically for people who suffer from or have suffered from brain injuries, and these are their mid-level frame, so you can still see my eyes, which I like. So yeah, really, really, really fond of these and really happy that I finally ordered them. It took me a long time just because it was hard to do for me, only because I like had to try them on and like being on the screen, just whatever. But anyways, I've been using them during my work days, and the difference is literally night and day. Don't really suffer from too many migraines anymore, so that's epic. And yeah, I'm able to multitask in a way I hadn't really been able to before. And then I also noticed too, like when I do not wear them, it's less intense. So the transition is less intense because they are meant to be worn indoors and outdoors. So that's my rant about my new look, I guess you could call it. I don't know, but it is a new look, and I do plan on releasing the full videos of my podcast at some point in time, once I can properly sit down and edit them. So yeah, that's also something I'm working on, is my editing skills. I'm really trying to build my toolbox rather, and really just get everything that I want and need, or feel that I want and need, in order in that box, so that I can like pull out that hammer or that wrench and feel confident to use it. So that's what I've been doing. And yeah, I really wanted to come on here and say Happy New Year to any of those who celebrate, or Happy Lunar New Year to those who celebrate. That's an exciting one coming up in a few weeks. The year of the wood snake, or snake. So going to be an interesting year. very interesting year. So I'm very excited to kind of reap the rewards of all my hard work, really, to be honest with you. We have some travel plans, really exciting travel plans. I am celebrating a milestone birthday this year. So I wanted to remind everyone that with New Year's comes like all these tasks and expectations that we put on ourselves to set new goals. And for me, my mom asked me this question, and then I had a friend who's also a fellow podcaster or podcast host share a very interesting snippet on her page, and it was basically talking about how this is not the time to do that. It's actually the time to like hibernate and nest. And I'm big on the bear life. Me and my boyfriend are. And it is hibernation season. So it's actually not the time to like restart or try something and put yourself outside of your comfort zone, because where I live, it's freezing. First of all, it's cold, and I am actually recovering from a terrible cold or flu. I don't even know what it was, but even like I had acupuncture yesterday with my traditional Chinese medicine healer, and I was like in worse shape than I've been in years, to be honest. And I think my body is just a way for my body to remind me that it's not a time to necessarily be like getting up and starting new things. It's just really a time for me to remain peaceful. And that's actually my word of the year is peace, peaceful. And yeah, I hope that whatever endeavor or mantra or project or vision that you have, I hope that you can also remind yourself to remain present. I read something interesting today that I was sharing with my boyfriend. We were kind of talking about on our walk this morning, and it was the concept of that, we like are at an age in our lives where we've hit those goals, or maybe you're not at that age, but regardless, you're always leveling up, hopefully. And of course, there's going to be days where you're set back, obviously. At the end of the day, you're growing each and every day. And, the Vick that was the Vick 2 years ago would be like, holy crap, you did that, and that this year, and you are this person. I'm going on a rant, but even my friend, like one of my best friends, saw her the other day, and she was like, how far you've come mentally in the last 2 years is like night and day, Vick. Like I can't even tell you how proud I am of how you handle yourself and your resilience and all these things. And my point is this: reap the rewards of your work all the time. I know it's really hard because we're in this Western society. We're always chasing the next best thing all the time. Like, I need the bigger house, I need the better camera, I need the better microphone, I need the bigger dog, I need the better car. It's like, bro, no you don't. You think you do. I suffer from this sometimes too. It's like, just chill and like look around you. Breathe it in. And on that note, I wanted to also celebrate something that I celebrated, an incredible milestone that I celebrated on January 9th, so just a couple weeks ago. I celebrated 1 year of complete sobriety. Yeah. I have a lot to say about that. I really do. But one thing that I'll say right now is that it is that complete sobriety. So that means no alcohol, no weed, no other drugs, no nothing. I just reintroduced caffeine in the fall. So I was actually like abstained from caffeine as well. I had been for a long time. I would have a coffee the odd occasion, like at an event maybe. But yeah, anyways, my point is that I'm really proud of myself. I've done this before, a few years ago when I had my first intense episode. I had to abstain from a lot of things. So I have actually probably celebrated 1 year sobriety or close to it anyways. I never kept track of it the way that I did this time around. But I'm really proud of myself, and I'm really grateful for all the people in my life who also supported me during this journey. I have many reasons why I did this, and I will really get into those. I'm going to do a whole episode on sobriety for sure. And I have a lot to say, and I know there's a lot of opinions on this, but for me, it's just a life that I want to live, and I want to really focus, or I have wanted to really focus on being high on my breath. So I always say, like, I'm high on oxygen. Okay, that's like what I like to say, because I think that in this life, it's easy to forget how powerful your breath is. It's been nice to really be free and confident, freely confident. And I think I know I have influenced people in my life positively about that as well. So that's been really cool and empowering. So thank you to me, and kudos to me, and kudos to anyone else who has overcome some challenge or milestone in the last little while. Celebrating yourself is the most important thing you can ever do for yourself and for others in your life. So yeah, make sure that you take some time each day to celebrate yourself. And on that note, I want to do as I do, which is share the card that I pulled, which is fun. I've not pulled this card before, and it's crazy again, because the card that I pulled is from, again, one of my favorite decks, my boyfriend's deck. It's called Shamanic Healing Oracle Cards by Michelle Motzvis. I can't say her name. It's a tongue twister for me, but it's a beautiful deck. And the card that I pulled is called Integration. It's card number 33. And I don't know if you see that, but there's a snake. So you can't make this stuff up. Like, it's the year of the wood snake. So yeah, really, 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 really fun card. I don't know what it's going to say. I'm going to read it with you all now. So let's do it. 33, integration. We are a sum of all our experiences in this and other lives. We all bring forward a wealth of knowledge, talents, and wisdom. One of the challenges is remembering who we are. We are bombarded every day in every way with messages on who we should be, what we should do, what we should wear, how we should live. Wow. These messages coming from the media, society, our families and friends, and even strangers can drown out who we really are meant to be, who we have grown into lifetime after lifetime. Wow. Find some quiet moments in your day to identify and start a relationship with that small, strong voice inside of you. Pretty soon you won't hear the other messages. Many times in your interactions with others, you hear that small voice that tells you something is not right. Your logical mind tells you to stop it. Nothing is wrong. Stop being silly, dramatic, or overreacting. You may ignore your inner voice. In a quest to fit in, to be loved or admired, you do not realize that your inner voice is warning you that the other person's energy is not matching their words or actions. Listen to your instincts about this situation or person. Wow. Beautiful card. A lot of synchronicities between what we just spoke about here today, I feel, and also just a beautiful message. Yeah, we are bombarded every day in every way with messages on who we should be, what we should do, what we should wear, how we should live. Just be you. No one knows you better than you. And yeah, I think that in itself is a beautiful quote. On that note, I wanted to thank you all so much for listening to me today again. I hope this message and episode finds you all very well, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Ciao.